Hey, hola, ¿cómo estás? Bonjour, ça va? It's me, the Lost Canuck, coming at you live and in person from the barbecue lab. Hey, what am I doing standing in front of this giant slab of meat that I'm getting ready to trim? Well, I'll tell you. It's my son's swim team barbecue this weekend. So I agreed to make them a little brisket, some other things, some goodies on the pit. So that's what we're going to do today. And as part of the fun, for all you Lone Star Grillz 42-inch pellet smokers, I'm using the new Huber Products double wide split basket. Now, you probably saw me test it, and I'll put a link up here for the video before. And I did a couple tests, one with a snake, one with a straight fuse. I'm going to do a snake method on this one. I'm snaking the whole pan all the way out and back and around. Should have enough fuel and stuff in there for the first 4 hours, which is the most important on a brisket anyways. So what do we got here? I got a full packer brisket that's been in the freezer for, I don't know, 8 months or so. And this one's 14 pounds. So it's a prime brisket from Costco. And it was, at the time when I bought it, how much was this guy here? Hang on, 84 bucks. So not terrible. Still high, but you know, what can you do? So let's get this thing out of the cryovac. We'll get it trimmed up for eating, not competition. And then we'll throw it on the pit tomorrow morning. We're gonna season it, trim it, and everything. So we're gonna basically take this giant packer brisket, we're gonna turn it into this juicy, yummy, delicious barbecued brisket. So stay tuned. All right, let's get this thing out of the cryovac. All right, so like I said, any of the gray oxidation you see on here, it's part of the processing when you have a steam knife when they're cutting it. So we'll just take some of that off. We'll take some of it. There's a big chunk of hard fat here. There's some silver skin over here, and then we'll trim the fat cap down. Look, if you already know how to trim up a brisket, hit the fast forward to the next section. If you don't know how to trim a brisket, look, I'm not a pro. I'm just a backyard guy. I'll show you how I trim mine. This is just for eating. I don't compete doing anything like that. So stick around if you want to see it. Fast forward if you don't. We'll get her trimmed, and then I'm going to put our rubs on. So this part here is just a big flap of meat that's going to get burnt off. So we're going to take that off, just like that. Now, I'm not going to throw all this away. Brisket trim makes great burgers and everything else. So you see how I'm just cutting the oxidized part off that? So hang on to this. Hang on to, the good parts of your trim. Throw this in the pan. This will be my grind pile. All right, so I just have a little aluminum pan that I use. Put it off to the side. That's the good stuff, not the maybe you can't see what I'm talking about. You see this stuff here that's kind of gray brown? You don't want that. Nobody wants to eat that. You don't want to eat that. Just cut it off. Okay, so you saw me cut the part of the mohawk off here. Just smooth it out. This is still good. Okay, so there's a big seam of fat over here. Ooh, just about cut my finger. Actually, the fat we'll put in a pan and we'll make tallow out of it. That's also good too. So we'll put our tallow pile on one side of the pan and our grind pile on the other side. There, now we're organized. Take some of this silver skin off. And then, look, you know, however you trim a brisket is probably the best way for you to do it. This is just how I do it. Okay, get some of the silver skin off. Now you don't want to leave any divots because then it'll just be a fat pooling spot. Okay, now what we're going to do down here in the flat is we'll probably shape this up like this, because this part's too thin and it'll just burn. So I'm just going to mark a line where I kind of want it to go, and we'll cut that. Let's keep trimming over here. And you can't see this because the camera is over on the other side. Okay, well, we're sort of shaping her up here. Don't want that either. Okay, so we got our top kind of shaped up a little bit. Let's flip it over and trim some of this fat cap off. Now everybody says, you know, 1/4 inch, but how do you really know what a 1/4 inch is? Well, you don't. So you just do the best you can. There. All right, well, it's not beautiful, but it's about as trimmed as I'm going to get her. It's about as aerodynamic as it's going to ever get. Because in a pellet grill, you know, the airflow is going to go up and over like that. And I didn't make any big divots here, so we're not so bad. And it will fit in my, yep, it'll even fit. So there's our tallow pile, there's our grind pile, and there's our brisket. So let's get some binder on here. And then, yes, you don't have to use binder. It's wet enough. Lost Canuck likes binder. I think it gives it a little umami, but umami. Anyways, we'll put it on. We'll get our rubs on. Give me 10 seconds here. All right, well, no more trimming, so I don't need that. Okay, so Lost Canuck got his binder. Look, if you think binders are for losers or whatever, skip this part. I like to use binders. And if you do like binders, leave me a note down there. Tell me what kind of binder do you use? Or if you hate binders, leave me a note down below in the comments. I answer them all. So I'm going to use this Bigfoot barbecue sauce. This is a local made sauce here in Hudson. They make this in Hudson. You can't buy it in Hudson, which is kind of crazy if you ask me. But they sell it in Wisconsin, and you can order this online, which is what I did because I really wanted it. And this stuff makes great binder. It's a good barbecue sauce. Just enough on the surface, cover all the sides, make it wet enough for the rub. Okay, so we got that. And don't worry about using too much. So usually a brisket's pretty big, so. And this also helps you see if you're going to have any pooling, which I probably will right here. Oh well. Okay. So we got our local binder on. Here's what we're going to use for rub, and you guys all know I like Oprah Smokin rubs. Okay. Well, this is their all-purpose. Basically, it's salt, pepper, garlic, thyme. So we're going to just kind of do this Texas style. This is rub number 1. I'm going to put a little extra salt on it here after I'm done. So let's get this Oprah Smokin all-purpose on here. It's got nice big salt flakes on it, pepper. I like it. And this you can buy. I bought this from my friend Dave at Smoke on the Waters Grills and Provisions. Okay, he's a new upstart store here in Hudson. So if you're on the east side of the Twin Cities and you're looking for a really cool barbecue shop, or you want to talk about barbecue, Dave's the guy to see. All right, so here's some of our base. I'll put some on the edges. Oh, and Oprah Smokin's local, by the way. I didn't finish talking about that. It's run by husband and wife team, Sarah and Josh. They're pretty cool people. I've met them in the past over at Northern Fire Barbecue at their open, at their Customer Appreciation Day. Okay, so we got our initial layer of rub down. What we're going to do now is Texas style. Now this is Bolner's Season It All salt. Okay, now it's just seasoned salt. It's good. It's from Texas. They use it on briskets down there a lot. We're just going to add some extra salt in here. Now this is a huge chunk of meat, so you don't have to really worry about using too much. Just cover all the surfaces. Now what we're gonna do is chill this in the fridge overnight, and we're pre-salting it now. Okay, so my friend Taco Cat hates it when I say dry brining, but sorry Taco Cat, which is a cool anagram, by the way. So I'm going to say we're gonna dry brine this in the fridge overnight, because you guys know what I'm talking about. Now you want to leave this in your fridge and put it on your pit cold as possible. Why, you ask? Well, in the food processing industry, we try and keep the meat chilled before it goes into the smokehouse. We have giant smokehouses in projects I work on. And smoke likes to stick to cold, wet surfaces, just so you know. That's why I spritz from time to time through the cook. Helps with smoke adhesion. The giant smokehouses I work with have, full humidity control and steam injection and everything else. People's pits at home don't have any of that stuff. Well, unless you got like a super crazy fancy one. Mine's pretty fancy, but it doesn't have that. Lone Star is good, but it's not that good. I mean, it's good, but it's not that fancy. How's that? Or maybe it's fancy. No, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. Okay. If you hear a lot of snorting in the background, that's my dog acting weird. Okay. Now we're going to just cover up the bald spots. Now the bald spots I like to cover back with the all-purpose. Perfect. So what we're going to do is I'm going to flip the sides up on this, put the cover on it, take it down to the fridge, and dry brine or pre-salt and chill, depends on who you talk to. And then I will see you out at the Lone Star Grillz 42-inch pellet smoker with the Huber Products double split basket with the crazy snake that I did. And I'll show you the snake here in a second that I built for it. We'll see if it works. All right, see you down at the pit. All right, well, let's check out how I've got the snake set up this time. So I'm doing the same thing as before. Let's take a look. So I'm going to start over by the burn pot, move all the way through with chunks of hickory. And then because I don't have a divider that's open here, I'm kind of making a little bridge with briquettes over the top and then back down, burn and burn and burn. So you notice I don't have this part with anything because I don't want anything to burn here. I want the burn to start there and wrap around. That should give me at least 4 hours worth of burn time, which is about first 4 hours is when you soak up a lot of the first good smoke. At least 4 hours, probably maybe 5, I don't know. Anyways, well, let's get that brisket on and see how this thing works. All right, well, we're at the pit, and I got a late start because of the storms that just rolled through. So I'm going to fire the pit up. You saw me have the baskets all loaded up with the snake. Let me show you what I've got, what's going on the inside. So I've got my water pan for the brisket, got my brisket trimming for the tallow rendering, got my drip pan, and I'm going to put the brisket right up here. So we are set and ready. So let's fire this thing up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to set it to 250. Now some of you got, and your experience may vary. I have to set mine to 250 to get that charcoal in the basket lit up. Okay. I know some of my friends out on the West Coast, like Craig, saying he can set his at 225 and his will catch. Maybe elevation, like I'm at almost 1,000 feet here. Maybe it has something to do with it. Maybe, heck, Craig, you're out in California. Things are tinder dry out there, so maybe your wood or charcoal is a little drier than mine. Whatever. You do you. Whatever pit or wherever you live and whatever works for you, do that. I got to go to 250. I know some of you guys don't have to do that. So here we go. It always starts at 225, just the way the program's set. So I'm going to turn it up to 250. I'm going to leave it there. Got the hopper all loaded up with pellets. Now I got my 2 RFX probes that I'm going to put one in the point and one in the flat. So I'll wait till this gets stabilized at 225. Sorry. After everything gets lit and stabilized, I'll bring it down to 225 and then we'll throw on the brisket. So I'll see you when it's time to throw it on. All right, well, we're back at the pit. You saw me turn everything on. You saw what I was doing on the inside. So I had it set at 250. I just turned it down to 2 1/4. You know, Lone Star always overshoots to heat the steel up. It's coming back down. I just checked our fuse on the Huber basket, and the first briquette is just starting to ash over now. And you can see my temperature's still dropping, no problem. No temperature spikes. Now, that's because I'm using charcoal briquettes, and then it fuses over to the wood, and you saw the rest of it, okay? And so now it's time to put the meat on. So let's get this brisket in. I'm just going to put some temperature probes in it so I know what's going on. All right, so I've got my RFX gateway here. Here's one of the temperature probes. We're going to put the green probe in the point, which is this side over here, and we'll put it down this way, all the way up to the thick black line. Now remember that when this thing cooks, it shrinks up. So funny thing is, on some of my temp probes, when it shrinks, it shrinks past the minimum insertion, and then you get all kinds of alarms. So I like to put it in. Like I said, I got my drip pan set up, got my tallow, got my water pan. We are set. So I'm going to put the thicker end towards the heat source. Okay? Just let it be fat cap down towards the heat. Alright, so I got some slop here. That's why my gasket's all screwed up. You can see that. So, you know, this summer, Lost Canucks due for a gasket change. We're going to do a special video. Look at the smoke coming out of here, though. The Lone Star doesn't have a problem making smoke. Alright, so I'm going to wipe some of this goo off here. I'll come back in about an hour. We're going to check our fuse, see how far along it's gone, and then by then hopefully the surface is starting to get a little dry. I can start spritzing it. This is an overnight cook. Should be done in about 20 hours or so, 22 hours. We'll see. It's actually, this is a 14-pound brisket, so it's smaller than the last one. All right, so I'll see you in an hour or two. Lost Canuck out. All right, well, we're back at the pit. You can see, getting lots of smoke out of here. Last time I checked, the fuse was going on the tray, and so it's time for me to spritz, and we'll take a quick look at the charcoal basket too, just to see how far back the charcoal is burning. Oh, look at the smoke. See if it's time we can spritz. Not quite. Still a little wet. Let's take a quick look in there. Oh yeah, look. You can see my fuse is going. The charcoal's grayed over, so it's burning. And it hasn't made it over to the final block here yet, and we've been running for 2 hours. So I know we've got at least probably 3 more hours of snake on there. Which is pretty cool, if you ask me. So, everything back. My drip tray back under there. Alright, so I'm not going to spritz it yet. It's still a little moist. Let's close that back up. So, it's been running, I'll look on the Fireboard app, but yeah, at least 2.5 hours. So it went a little ways. I'd say we got 3 hours more of charcoal and splits. You can see it there. And again, I don't get temp spikes up and down. I use briquettes. And because when you use briquettes in like a Weber kettle or your PK grill or whatever, they're more for low and slow. If you're using stuff like if you're just doing solid wood splits or lump charcoal, yeah, your temperature's going to shoot up because that wood split takes right off. But at least if you kind of put it around some briquettes, it burns very slow. All right, which is kind of nice. All right, so not time to spritz yet. I'm going to spritz periodically through the night and take it up to 165. Should be by 165 by midnight probably tonight. I'll wrap it around midnight, throw it back in. We'll complete it overnight and then put it in the warmer for the kids tomorrow to eat. All right, so I'll see you when it's time to wrap this thing, or maybe flip the brisket around. See you in a bit. All right, well, it's a little after midnight since I put the brisket on, and the internals are, well, the point's about 165. The flat, it comes up to into the upper 150s, and now it's falling back down. So the flat's totally in the stall. The point is just about starting to stall. So it is time to foil boat our brisket. So I just checked our double wide split basket from Huber Products, and the last little bit of the fuse has burnt out probably a little while ago. I think I got about 6 hours total charcoal smoke time. Let's take a look at the bark on here. I think it looks pretty good. I had this open a minute ago. Oh yeah, look at I don't know if you guys can see that, but the bark is beautiful on this thing. So basically what we're going to do is we are going to pull this out, put it in the pan, bring it into the house, foil boat it, put it back on, and let her go the rest of the night. Let's go take this inside, boat her up, put her back on, and we'll finish it off overnight. So I'll see you inside. All right, well, we're inside with our brisket, and I've laid out some foil here. Actually, I used 3 sheets, one to cover the seam and then 2 side by side. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay down some butter on the bottom. You can use tallow too if you want. I didn't have a whole lot of tallow from the rendering. I like to use a lot of butter. Okay, plenty of butter. Now I'm going to put some redneck lipstick on the bottom too. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. I like to just put a little bit of a little sauce for some flavor. Okay, so we're going to put the brisket in here with the fat cap up, and that'll be exposed. Okay, so grab our brisket. I don't know if you can see the color on there, but it is looking good. Now this is the, I'll take it off the tripod so you can see it. I mean, the color on here looks amazing. So that's our presentation side. So it looks pretty good. Okay, this thing got a lot of smoke and it smells great. Let's get this thing over here, and I'm just using this pan to transport things. So, brisket, fat side up, just like that, okay? Then we're going to build the boat around it. So I'm going to put it in the pan to just carry it back out and put it back on. Alright, so let's get this. Actually, I could probably just carry it out there like that. I'll put it in the pan. We'll get this thing back out on the pit, and then we'll keep cooking it. Alright, well, here we are at the pit. I'll just fold this down. I'm going to throw it back on. It's looking good. Smells great. And you know, when you cook meat, it kind of springs up, so it sprung up a little bit, but it still fits in the pit. Alright, fat cap is up. Getting ready to take some more smoke here. I'm going to top the pellet hopper off and go get some much needed shut-eye. So I will see you when it's light outside, first thing in the morning, when it's ready to probe this and probably put it into my little holding oven. We'll see you then. Alright, well, it's the next day. I'm using a little louder voice because, well, it's not, 1 a.m. or 1, whatever. So I'm not bothering the neighbors. So we've had this foil boat going all night long. It's just about 8 o'clock in the morning now. I'm going to I'm going to turn it because one side's cooking a little faster than the other side. I'm going to put it down on the bottom shelf because, well, it's in a foil boat. It doesn't need a drip pan anymore. So let's see what's going on in here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at the bark. I got some pooling down there, but look at the bark on here, guy. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hang on. And, looks like my tallow's done too. Look at the bark on here, man. This, turned out there's some pooling. Oops. Oh, well. Got a divot over there. But the bark looks good. So I'm going to just pull the drip pan out because I don't need it anymore. I'm going to take the foil boat and take it from this level, put it down here. I'm going to do the old switcheroo, turn it around because this side is actually the point and the flat cook at different rates. This one has more fat in it. This is a little more lean. So anyways, we're going to turn it around and then just bring it up to completion, and then away we go. So let's do that. Normally I'd put that on the ground, but the dogs are right here, so we won't be doing that. Holy, she's full of tallow, I know that. I can see it. Now we're down on that side. I'm going to leave the water pan going. Now again, I got some goop here on the front. I'm going to clean that off, but let's get this. I think she's getting close to being probe tender. I can feel it. It's going to be a good brisket. I can feel it. All right, I'm going to take this up to 275. Get the bark on the top nice and rendered, and we'll bring it up to 203 or so. Put it in the warming oven, and then we'll eat it for the barbecue. And there we go. 275. Got plenty of pellets left. I will see you when it's time to pull this off. We'll check the probe tenderness and put it in our warming oven. All right, well, we've been in the smoke for 19 hours, I think. I brought it up to 275 at the end just to make sure that the fat cap's all nicely rendered down and kind of crispy. So let's just do a quick recap on what we did. So we let it run for the first, 5-6 hours at 225 just to get the smoke on there. We used the Huber basket, the snake method. Now, it's burnt out a long time ago, but I think it probably added some charcoal, some wood flavor in there. We'll find out. And then after that, I brought it up to 250 just to cook it overnight, render some more of the fat internally, and it brought it up to like in the 190s when I got up this morning. Then you saw me flip it down, and I just turned it up to 275 for the last hour and a half. I'm getting close to 2 hours now. So it's my internal RFX temperature probes are telling me we're right around 200. So I'm going to pull this off, put it in my put it in a foil pan, let it cool off a little bit in the garage. It's air conditioned in there. And then I'll put it in my little Vevor warming oven for about 8 hours until it's time to eat. All right, so let's just do some. Yes, you can rely on wireless temperature probes. They're very good. Always have yourself a handheld thermometer. We'll just do some probe tenderness and checking temperature. So let's check. Wow, this thing bark is looking pretty nice. This thing looks great. Let's probe the point. Oh my God, it's like this thing's done. It's just going in, like if it feels like it's going in like you got no resistance. She's probing about 198 in the point, and the flat is 200. Oh my God, this is like putting it in peanut butter. Yeah. So I'll pull it off. We'll stop the cooking, and then we'll put it in the warming oven. All right. Well, I got the little warming oven turned on inside. So let's pull this thing off and bring her in to stop the stop the cooking. It's been a long night. And you're probably wondering about my cooking hat that I'm wearing a lot. And yes, I did. I did get a free bowl of soup with this hat.
This is the worst looking hat I ever saw. Well, you buy a hat like this, I'll bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh? Oh, it looks good on you, though.
Okay. Well, we're going to put our boated brisket into the garage, let it stop cooking, and then we're going to throw it into the oven. And I got to wipe this stuff off or it'll really screw up my pit. So hang on. Okay, well, I'm going to have to take some cleaner and wipe off the grease that I spilled everywhere. But, these things happen. So when it's time to slice, I'll see you in a few minutes up at the cutting board. Well, it'll be a few minutes or a few seconds for you. We're going to hold this thing for about 8 hours. So I'll see you then. Sorry. Hey, we're up here in the barbecue lab. I just pulled the brisket out of the warming oven where it's been sitting at about 150 for about 9 hours now. So we had it in the smoke for 18 hours plus 9. There's 27 hours of prep time. Look at the bark on here. This is the fat cap side. I did the foil boat. So let's let's slice into this. Here's your flat. Here's your point. So let's see what we got here. Holy, it slices just like butter. I don't have my regular videographer here, so wow. Look at that. Oh, geez, the juice is running right out of this thing. But look at the smoke ring on there. This is the meat side here. Here's the fat. Even the fat side got some too. Looks really good. I'd eat this. So let's take a flat slice. Taste it. And we'll take one out of the point here in a second. Wow. I cut that really thick. Oops. It's like butter. It's crazy. So, Do you want one? It's hot. The new videographer gets a piece. All right, let's try this out. Oh, melts in your mouth like butter. Let's try the crust. Oh, wow.
I believe high schoolers are getting this.
Yeah, my kids' swim team's getting this. Well, most of it. This is really good. I'm going to cut this up and then, all right, so like I said, this is super amazing tender. Oh, it's so good. So I'm going to slice this up, put this off to the side, and the swim team's going to have a real treat. Look at this is the smoke ring. It came out so nice. So yummy. The rub really did well. So, quick recap before we shut this down. I used the new Huber double wide split basket. I did a full snake all the way through it. The snake lasted about 6 hours. The temp spikes were minimal because I used briquettes, and I spaced out my wood, 3 briquettes, chunk, 3 briquettes, chunk. So they wasn't going crazy. Now, did it spike? Yeah, about 20 degrees, okay, to be expected, but I was lazy. I didn't use an ambient probe. I could have and would have minimized the spikes even lower, but that's just so it works. It worked well on an overnight brisket cook. I didn't have to feed sticks in there all night into the basket, so that's what I like about it. The flavor on this thing is amazing. I think the kids from the swim team are really going to enjoy that. So final thoughts and conclusion, Huber split basket, thumbs up. That's the double one, okay? And he's doing some mods where you can do the full snake all the way around. Lone Star Grillz, obviously, that thing just smokes like crazy. Brisket turned out well. So we did the full experiment again on an overnight brisket cook, and those were my final thumbs and final thoughts and conclusions. So if you liked anything I used in tonight's video, Hey Grill Hey gloves, the cutting board, knives, any of that stuff, they're all things that I believe in. Check out the Lost Canuck affiliate store below. It's an affiliate store, so I do make a small commission to buy things like brisket, etc., but it doesn't cost you anything extra. And check out my Instagram page. I'll put the QR code up for it right here. And I do fun things, little different things over on that page from time to time. So check out my Instagram page. And then finally, don't forget, thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up button if you like the video. Subscribe and notify me. And that thumbs up really helps my channel and really helps the video. So don't forget, if you enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up. All right, we're at the end of the video. Lost Canuck's last words in every video is don't forget, be kind to each other. It really matters. It's really important nowadays. Things are getting a little crazier out there every day. So you never know what other people are going through. Just pays to be kind. All right, so I'm going to slice this up for the swim team. Bye-bye. Check out some of my other content. Lost Canuck says, love you guys.